Whoa, 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 whoa. I heard that the Morbius movie is doing shit they ain't supposed to be doing. Sony is supposedly out of their goddamn mind. I heard that Morbius, that Sony took out Spider-Man scenes from the Morbius movies, and now I just recently watched one of Tyrone's Magnus videos reacting to an article stating that fans are very upset with Morbius. Very upset that the movie did not make any sense. The post-credit scenes were bad. That the movie was really bad, basically. Really. Sorry. I needed wings. I really like this flavor. It's pomegranate. Ugh. I love that sourness. I never really was a fan of Red Bull until they came out with the blueberry, the cherry, and now pomegranate. I like them. I also tried the dragon fruit. But this ain't a Red Bull advertising. This is Spliff talking as I'm rolling. About what the hell's going on with Sony and the and Marvel Morbius. Like, what the fuck? I don't like hearing bad news, bro. I was already upset about the Batman. Now I gotta be upset about Morbius. I was actually looking forward to that movie. So we gonna react to this video from 3C Films, you know, and see what he has to say. I'm gonna rewind it. All right. Fans walking out of Morbius. Play.
You're in so much pain, huh?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's how bad it
fans,
was?
I don't know what is happening. I think Sony has officially lost it. We gave them too much of our money from Spider-Man No Way Home. I have no idea why, but as of me making this video and releasing it out to you guys, Morbius is still about a week away from its public release, but Sony and the people involved with Morbius have decided to say, screw all of that, we're gonna answer all your spoilerish questions about Morbius and how it connects to the larger Spider-Verse. That includes basically ruining the post-credit scene. I am not kidding right now. Bully Maguire must be the CEO of Sony right now because he's just letting everything slip left and right. So exactly what I'm going to be doing here for you guys in this video is, yes, the director of Morbius has gone ahead and done an interview answering some questions about how Morbius connects to the Spider Universe. Some of these were like tipping on the edge of spoiler territory, but then like the final couple questions is just flat out ruining the post-credit scene. So you could say most of this video is spoilerish. I'm telling you, Sony themselves and the director are willing to just give this information out publicly before the movie's released, so I don't see why we shouldn't talk about it. Heck, if anything, they're probably saving you a couple of bucks if you don't want to watch the movie. So you Spider-Man fans need to give me your opinions down below. What do you think of Morbius and Sony just flat out going ahead and ruining stuff about this movie a week before its release? Do they really just not care at all or have such little faith on this Morbius movie that they're just like, just tell the people what happens and then we'll move on to the next one? So diving into it again, some of this stuff is minor spoilers, and then when we get to the real big spoilers, I will go ahead and warn you guys, just in case if you're someone who still wants to go flat out and see Morbius. Alright, but the director of Morbius went ahead and did an interview with Cinema Blend, and they have it titled here, "Attention Spider-Man fans, we have a special Friday treat. Morbius movie director Daniel Espinosa agreed to answer every juicy question you have about Spider-Man, Venom, Vulture, and all the Marvel Easter eggs in the upcoming movie. Are you ready? Spoilers in the thread."
But I thought
Mind you, Morbius will not be released for another week.
How's this helping? Look,
So, the first question they asked right off the bat is, what universe does Morbius take place in? Where the director answered, Morbius lives in the same universe as Venom. This is the universe we saw Venom exit at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage and return at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. Breaking that down right there, okay, so that already conflicts with some of the stuff that we've been hearing off the side. If you guys watched my previous video, there were rumblings going around that Morbius was set in his own universe. Now, we know that isn't necessarily the case, but then again, we've heard that reactions coming out of Morbius, people seem very confused to where Morbius takes place in that universe. So I'm assuming they probably will keep that Venom joke that we've been seeing in the trailers. That also lets us know that maybe all these other upcoming movies, Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson and the Madam Web film, could also be in the Venom universe instead of their own separate universes like we were thinking. Glad that's been cleared up. Doesn't completely ruin the movie for me, just lets us know what universe it's in. That was okay. Then, of course, he was asked the million-dollar question everyone wants to know: is there a Spider-Man in Venom's universe, aka Morbius's universe? The director says, of course. Jumping off that question, they followed it up with, okay, so which Spider-Man exists in Venom's universe? And he says, it is my understanding that the audience will discover that answer soon. And you know what? That's actually kind of exciting. From everything we've been hearing, since Morbius is already screened in the UK and they've had a fan screening, Spider-Man is not set to show up anywhere in Morbius. So just get that out of your head and enjoy Morbius as a standalone film. But it's good to know that they do plan to introduce a Spider-Man in that universe, and from everything we've been hearing, it's not going to be Tom, it's not going to be Andrew, and it's not going to be Toby. It seems like they're going to be introducing their own different Spider-Man into the Sony universe, but with them saying that they'll answer that question soon, it's like, how soon? Because after Morbius, next Spider-Man universe film isn't until Kraven the Hunter. So could it be in Kraven the Hunter we find out who the new Spider-Man is? Or is Sony just going to go ahead and make an announcement and say, this person is the new Spider-Person of the Sony universe? I'm still holding out hope that it's Toby or Andrew, but there is a Spider-Person out there,
Andrew,
and all
bro.
we know
What
is
the
that they're
fuck?
eventually going to tell us who. But
It better be Andrew. I'm gonna
and
be
then he
pissed
was
as
asked
hell
some
if it's not Andrew.
schmancy-pantsy question about Morbius's powers and how they work in the movie, and this is like a prime example about what I meant. Sony, you are treating the Morbius movie like a dangling of the carrot of Spider-Man connections, that literally this question in the entire thread is the least liked and interacted with fans because they could care less about Morbius right now and that universe, because you have based this entire movie off showing off Easter eggs and a grand connection to Spider-Man that we now know is barely there. But from there is where we move on to the questions that I do just want to warn you guys, these are now the very spoilerish answers to what will be happening by the end of Morbius. Basically ruins the post-credit scene. So if you're still someone who plans to go see Morbius and doesn't want to know about that and at least wants to have one surprise in the film, come back and watch this later. So now with that out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like I was telling you guys, they had a fan screening over in the UK, and just like with what happened with Venom Let There Be Carnage, the post-credit scene was let out to the public. Everyone now knows what the final two scenes are. I was doing my best just to avoid all of it because I know I'm going to see Morbius either way, and I would like to have at least one surprise in the movie, but with this interview and literally everyone else just posting it online, it got ruined for me. And seeing how Sony and the director really don't care to spoil this for the audience a week before release, I'm going to talk about it. So to understand this next question, I'm going to describe to you now the post-credit scenes. The first one starts with a purple space time rift at the end of No Way Home as everyone gets pulled out of the MCU to other universes. Adrian Toomes, that's Vulture, gets pulled out from the MCU to whatever universe Morbius is set in. He appears in a prison. He gets investigated on because he just appeared in a cell like that. They release him because he didn't do anything in this universe. And then that's the end of the first one. Fits in line with what we've been hearing. All the Michael Keaton scenes in Morbius have been all moved to the post-credits, and he will not be showing up throughout the film. And then the final stinger here, which is all sorts of crazy, they say the second one starts with Morbius driving in a car, then Vulture flies. And yes, he has the suit. To him saying he wants revenge on Spider-Man. Morbius accepts, setting up the Sinister Six. And I want to tell you guys just how frustrated and angry this makes me that Sony decided to do this. Why are you doing this to the Vulture character? You know how much potential of a good story now you had with Vulture coming back possibly in Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland? Because remember, the spell at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home made it so that Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, remembers Spider-Man putting him in prison, separating his family, ruining his operation, but he doesn't remember the Peter Parker side that made him friendly towards Spider-Man. So now you have a Vulture that's evil again, just because he wants to get back at the guy who took away everything for him. That was something I was so excited to see how they would tackle in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. And now he's been pulled out of the MCU, thrown into Morbius, and instead of just wanting to go back to his family and being worried about that, he's like, let's go catch a spider. And Morbius is just like, okay, let's do it. That also makes me feel like, why does Morbius care about Spider-Man? We hear that there's no Spider-Man in the Morbius movie. They're also setting him up to be an anti-hero where, yeah, he does bad things, but it looks like he's saving people. Why does he care to want to team up with Vulture to set up fighting Spider-Man?
That don't make no sense.
How is Vulture even going to go about changing different multiverses to find Tom Holland? There's so much more I just want to rant on about this because of how frustrating it is, but let's continue on with these questions. They ask him then concerning these post-credit scenes, which again, 1 week from the release of Morbius, and the director is answering questions about the post-credit. So with that in mind, he says, let's shift to Michael Keaton, who we saw in your Morbius trailers. Is he playing the same Adrian Toomes Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming? The director answers yes. So without a doubt, this is the same Vulture that we saw in Homecoming. It's not a multiverse version, it's not a variant version, it's the exact same one. They even try clarifying this because they know fans will be confused and upset by this by asking him, how did he get into Venom and Morbius's universe? He says, at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage and Spider-Man No Way Home, in No Way Home itself, it's clearly established that it is possible for characters to transfer from one multiverse to another. The events of No Way Home had the effect of transferring Venom and Vulture and maybe others back and forth between the MCU and Venom universe. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure Scorpion also got transferred to the Sony spin-off universe. If they took Vulture, they probably took Scorpion with them. But that's Sony's answer right there, is the way Spider-Man No Way Home, instead of that spell fixing things, they also pulled other people from that Spider-Man universe into their world. I really am so upset and frustrated by this. Sony, what the hell? Last question to blow your minds. Apparently in this post-credit scene where Vulture is wearing his Vulture suit, it's not the same one from Homecoming. Obviously because he transferred into a different universe without it, they ask him, how did Adrian Toomes get his Vulture suit at the end of Morbius? If you look closely, you will see it's not quite the same suit as Homecoming. He is a resourceful guy. Yes, Adrian Toomes is a resourceful guy. Michael Keaton's Vulture is a smart dude, but he is not mechanically smart. In Homecoming, he literally had the Tinkerer and other people making that equipment. He is not capable of making that suit on his own. So what you're telling me is maybe he found the variant version of the Tinkerer for the Sony universe, said, hey, you know me from a different universe, make me a Vulture suit, dude. Because if they say he made it on his own, that really doesn't make sense. Last question, is Vulture and Morbius setting up for a Sinister 6 movie? Well, he is recruiting teammates, and he has enticed one already, so it sure looks like a start. Back before this whole Sony universe, there was a solo Sinister 6 movie plan that was going to be attached to the Amazing Spider-Man universe. Andrew Garfield has talked about it in interviews, saying that he knew about it. He wasn't necessarily going to be in the movie, but it would be a future group that he would fight. And it looks like Sony wants to bring those plans back out and have this multiverse Sinister 6 movie that, mind you, would probably have its own movie before including Spider-Man. Sony, this is a jumbled giant mess. I try to be the most optimistic person when it comes to new movies up and coming, but it is hard to do that with all this information and the way you're handling the release of this movie. People waited 2 years. Sure, it wasn't like a Spider-Man No Way Home where we were just like, yes, let's see this movie, but you were 1 week away and you just flat out ruined everything about the film in one interview. Morbius, I think, has no chance at the box office now. It has gotten so much negative reception. They've ruined the post-credit scene out there. There's literally no other reason than just to see Morbius fight somebody we know he's gonna win by the end of the film. But look, this is where I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about this insane mess that the Morbius movie has become? Like, I didn't ever expect this movie to be good, but I didn't expect it to ever get this bad before the movie's released. Be sure to leave me your thoughts and theories down below. I want to say a lot more and rant off, but then I don't think I'd have anything to say with my spoiler review for this movie. So once Morbius is officially released, I will be talking full spoilers, the way you should, Sony. Anything, everything, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films.
Honestly, I'm gonna still watch it. Because I'm interested to see what they did. But I don't like the direction that it's potentially going, because if they're gonna introduce a new Spider-Man, that's gonna make me mad, because that means that they're potentially trying to create a pathway for Miles Morales or something else, which would be it's too messy. Like, I thought they were gonna go back to Andrew Garfield. Like, they should stick to that. Like, Andrew Garfield's a really good Spider-Man, and his story is still unfinished. You finished Tobey Maguire's. Tom Holland is gonna get another trilogy. Why not give Andrew his trilogy, bro? Like, anyway, peace out, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I'll see you in the next episode. Deuces.